Bought this tree umbrella because I knew that we're supposed to have 2 solid days of rain, and not having been out for a few days, I was desperate to get out, so I set up this umbrella. It's pretty nice. It's keeping my cameras dry, for the most part keeping my bow dry. I finally got pictures of my main shooter on this property. I looked for him all summer and never got a picture of him, but I got a picture of him a few hundred yards from here on October 15th. The buck's name is Cosmo Kramer. Passed him as a 3-year-old 2 years ago. Got very few pictures of him last year during season. Actually, after October 25th, I never got another picture of him during the season. And then actually picked up his shed probably about 50 yards from here. He didn't quite blow up like I thought he would. He was about a 160 last year, maybe upper 150s. It looks like he's about the same, or actually a little bit smaller this year as a 5-year-old. I don't know if it was just a rough growing season for him or what the deal was. But I can tell you he's big-bodied, and he's a mature 5-year-old beast of an 11-pointer, so I would be absolutely thrilled to shoot him. Well, this is the evening hunt for Halloween 2019. Looks like Christmas. It's howling wind, west-northwest, dumping snow. We've probably got at least a ½ inch so far. I mean, I'm not going to be able to stretch my range out tonight past 10 yards probably. It's literally blowing that hard. Time to go play in the snow. Let's go. This is absolutely stupid. I picked this spot because the wind was right, but I didn't really think it through that I'm sitting right on top of a wind-blown ridge. Good news is, though, there's a bunch of rubs right here. There's a beat-down trail that comes out of this bedding thicket from the south. It goes right down here to a scrape where my camera is, right down here. Maybe about 50 yards from me. But Zach's out tonight in a tree, probably about, well, he's right around 400 yards away from me, so we're right here along the same creek. Hopefully one of us actually gets to get eyeballs on a big deer tonight. Halloween's typically a good night to sit, but when it's blowing 25 miles an hour and snowing, I don't know. I'm going to stick it out till dark, check a camera on the way out of here, and then go back to the truck and warm up. It is miserable. It's sweet November. And I just finished setting my first stand for November on a run and gun set. Hunting for Bernie. There's a couple other bucks I'd shoot for sure. Just got it set up right up there. Maybe about 12 feet off the ground. I didn't set up very high so that I could shoot through here. I didn't want to do any trimming. So, with any luck, we'll have a good sit. I've just got to get the pack and bow up in the tree. Oh, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous evening. It's about, I think, low 40s. Like I said, kind of a southwest wind. Only blowing about 10 to 12 miles an hour. And we had that big front move through last night. So, just absolutely perfect. Can't really ask for a whole lot more on the first evening of November. decided to leave the stand here last night. One, because it was too cold for me to want to mess with tearing it down. But two, and the biggest factor was there are a bunch of deer in here, and I knew that I'd have the right wind today. I've got a northwest wind it's progressively calmed down during the day. It was blowing pretty hard earlier today, but it's calming down a little bit. It's probably 8 to 10 right now. Temperature's about 16, 17 degrees. And obviously we have a blanket of snow from last night. On the way to the stand, I approached from the south, and I actually followed in a big set of tracks. Zach had pictures of who he thinks is Tom, a couple miles from here, last night, and he was heading this way. So, I'd love to think in a perfect world that was his set of tracks, and it was definitely laid down last night after I left. On a very, very similar evening, Zach and I encountered Tom right here on this ridgetop on November 13th of last year. Almost identical conditions. Snowy, cold, post-front. I mean, absolutely freaky how similar this is. And he came down this trail right here that leads like right here about 12 yards from the tree. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. Tom's a big deer. He's only a 4-year-old this year, but he's a no-question shooter. I brought the rattling antlers tonight. I don't plan on using them, but if I see him far off, I'm gonna do a Hail Mary. I lose this property for gun season. Today's Tuesday. Gun season starts on Saturday. So, somebody else has permission in here for the gun season. Feels like the right night. We'll see if it is. Mature buck I've seen this year has been a 3-year-old. It's November 12th. Been hunting since the 15th of September, so almost 2 months. I haven't seen a mature buck. I'm hunting good areas. I'm seeing deer. I think tonight I've seen 11 or 12 deer. At one point I had 4 or 5 young bucks all within 20 yards. I just can't get a big mature buck to do that. I don't know what I'm doing wrong this year other than luck is just not on my side. I'm enjoying the pursuit, as always, but I'm ready for a payoff for all this work. think I saw my first mature buck of the year. That was a big buck. Yes. He's cruising hard. I looked out here across the creek, and he was coming out of that big thicket that I've been hunting. He was coming out of there, and he had his nose to the ground and walking fast. I was trying to get an ID on him before I filmed him, because I knew I wasn't going to get a chance to do both. I think it was a big 9-pointer that I've had in here. I'm pretty sure he had tall brows. I need to look now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Didn't have a very big body. Man, it had a good looking rack. I'm almost sure that was that big 9-pointer. Of course, I didn't get any footage of him, but he's got his nose to the ground and he's cruising hard. He's gonna be making rounds in here. November 14th, and I may have just seen my first shooter of the year. Alright, I'm going to try to keep this interview short. It's November 14th, morning hunt. This is my last all-day hunt that I have before gun season starts on Saturday. I've got Bernie and George are the top 2 candidates in here to get shot. Followed closely by this one, but I didn't figure that I would see him. Of course, that's the first one I've seen in here. That's the first shooter I've seen yet this year, November 14th. I think that's probably the longest that I've gone without seeing a mature buck, but he cruised along this ridge top and just kind of wandered through a thicket over there. And last I saw, he was working straight south. I grunted at him a couple times, and he definitely heard me. He flung his head my direction once, and I was able to see his frame. He's out past his ears. He's a gorgeous buck. Pretty small body on him, but I'm sure he is 4. 100% he's 4. So, I would definitely shoot him, especially since I've got 2 tags for this area. When I have 4 different identified shooters using a fairly small urban environment, I kind of assume that there's a shooter nearby at any one time. But it's nice to actually visually get the evidence that there's one in the area. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to kill. I am very, very ready for a big buck to have a massive screw up. about to puke. Most mature animal that I know of on any of my properties. Just walked by at 24 yards. And I didn't get a shot. I just got down to check a trail camera. Right down here in front of the stand. Had some great pictures of mature bucks in daylight. Just about to text my buddies Zach and Casey. I literally just opened up my phone and told them that I was going to send them some pictures. I looked up and glassed them, and first thing I saw was a drop tine. I knew it was George. The frozen creek is the only thing that kept him from crossing and going over here into this thicket. He got down to this point and stopped. He couldn't cross, so he turned around, came around this peninsula, came up the hill. And oh my gosh, I thought he was gonna come right down here and cross on this crossing to go up into the thicket. And then at the last minute, he turned to go behind my tree. If I had been ready and prepared and thinking, I could have easily squeezed a shot through right here. But in the moment, I wasn't sure what to do. I don't know what he was doing, but the wind switched. And he got down here to 24 yards, and I had my bow. I pushed the camera out of the way. I was not even worried about footage. That is an 8-year-old whitetail. That's the first time I've ever seen that buck. I've been hunting that buck for 4 years. That's the first time I've ever seen him. In the morning on the 14th of November. That's the second big buck I've seen today. I'm gonna be in this tree all day. I'm gonna try not to let my frustration get in the way of a good hunt. But I literally feel sick to my stomach right now. I've had close encounters with some big whitetails the past 3 years. A couple of them I would shoot. I think maybe one of them has been within compound range, but outside of stickbow range. That's the first time I can legitimately say if I had a compound in my hands, that deer would have been dead. And that is a deer that I've been chasing since